Recipe and about to go to the doors. My only contradiction with John is like some houses have like 2 doors, and he opened one door and I was like, I don't will open the door. I just yeah, just this. Yeah, I was thinking like it's too much. Open the door. Okay, it's 2 doors, but it's too much.
I wanted to say about knowing the value of what you have, right? We were talking, and reading that paper, right, lets you arm yourself with a conversational piece, because something in there relates to something that somebody's going through. Me and me and Antoinette talked to this young brother, and I asked him, you know anybody that's locked up? You know? He said, yeah, my cousin, you know, he started running law. And I said, what you think about the police, man? I want them out of here. You know, this is where you need this paper. Check this out. You know what I mean? Sign up, come to the Uhuru house. You got like-minded people that think. You know what I mean? Reading that paper arms you with a way in to start conversating with people. You know, like we were talking about before we went out. Even the lady with the dog who loved to hear, everybody loved to hear Antoinette talk. But she was very interested because some people have kids that's been victimized by the police. And they, you know what I'm saying? And some of them, you know, when we first went by these projects, little projects on 18th Street, there was a couple of hostile cats there who were saying, we need the police because we killing each other and this killing us. And you know, you're trying to struggle with him and he keeps saying the same thing. And one brother said, come on, man, I'll sign up, man. You know, listen to this. I'm crazy, man. You know what I mean? Insane. Yeah, but that's good to read that paper, you know, in honest.
Fenty.
Uhuru. I want to appreciate the office of the norm for for this strategy, at least, just as Comrade Aisha rightly said. I agree with all what other comrades have said here, and I want to believe this is the time we have to evaluate ourselves, because when we went there, I was discussing with Kobina, saying that, well, we are not selling papers and we are not making much contact, but it is good we are out there, because it helps us to determine how far people have gained knowledge about this movement. It helps us to determine how far people are actually learning things about what we are doing here outside. It's like the second contact I made is a white woman. Well, she said, oh yes, I know Chairman O'Malley. In fact, I am just from Ghana. You know? So all that helps us to understand, you know, how far people are actually trying to know much about, about the work. And it's this strong feeling that always comes into my mind that we are actually doing something, but we really need to do more. We really need to do more. Because it's like you go to some other places, you ask people about their understanding about the Uhuru movement. They say, oh, no, I have never heard of this. So it's like I always see myself as a disciple, you know, that I should be able to go out there and help people to know about things they do not know. Because the more people know about things they do not know, they will always want to know more. And how can that be happening? I think this is the right strategy that at least at the party have done. I think I actually appreciate almost everything, and all that we try to do more wherever we find ourselves.
Like, even if people sometimes might not want to open the door or anything, or like if they do open the door but don't buy or give contact, like I was thinking, like, I don't know, it gives them, like, to the community, it gives morale that they know that you're out there doing the work, and so like if some shit pops up, like they'll be like, oh, that's what's gonna happen. So it's like when Bakri was going around, like, oh, did you hear about the rebellion in like 1996? And then people would be like, yeah, or like they'd be like, no, he'd be like, yeah, so he'd be explaining, and people like, oh, okay, like they know. So it kind of, I don't know, it was making me think more about also like when we do go back, how that's gonna like impact on stuff.
I just wanted to say something to what he said. I really unite with that, because even, people seeing us out there, I think it really, it one, identify us with actually doing work and it really boosts their morale too. Cause we walked up on a group of people, it was about 6 or 7 of them, and I don't know what they was talking about before we got there. When we walked off, we went to like 2 doors, and they were still talking about, you know, the movement, talking about the flyer, the paper, and all that. Yeah. But it changes the discussion. You know what I'm saying? And, and that showed just that little bit of time. Yeah. How much we can change not only the discussion but change what people are involved in just by us being out there in the mix like that. And I really unite with what Juan just said.
People will put their stuff down, or they'll chill for a minute, engage you, you know, and they might go right back to selling that little dope after you leave, or even winos who don't want to come into Uhuru house because they know they drunk. And you don't have to tell them not to come. You're trying to get them in. They say, no, bro, I've been drinking, man. I'll come in when I'm clean. So, you know, our stance is, like, when we talk about that stance we got to have, you know, and it really means a lot in the community, just being out there like what we're talking about.
It's great. I'm just glad to see people out and having the experience, because one thing I would say about doing this kind of work, as much as what we think we're doing with the community, it shapes us also. It really shapes us, and that's where your confidence is. Your confidence is in these communities out there, you know, and the more we do it, one thing, we are reaffirmed all the time. I do want to say one thing, that my experience has been that people go out and spend all day doing the work to come back, selling newspapers, etc., and we go through this process. Well, how did it go? And inevitably, you know, there's a person who says, it was horrible. Right? I said, well, you know, what happened? You know, I said, I talked to this sister, and she said, I hate you guys, and you this and that, and I don't want to talk about it, and plus I love white people, right? And he said, wow. He said, wow. So he said, well, how many people you talked to? 15. Well, how was that? Oh, everybody else was great. You understand? So the thing that defined her experience was that one negative thing, right? And that, you know, has a lot to do with how we, you know, like internalize the experience. And 14 people were wonderful, but the one person who was negative was the thing that shaped how we understood that experience. I just think that's important. I think we should remember that also, that it's an element of subjectivism on our part, you know, and nobody likes to be turned down, or, you know, that kind of thing. And so, but the work that we're doing is just tremendous, and as much as we are shaping the community, we are being shaped by the process, and that's where our confidence is, because most of the people out there really appreciate having us out there, and they'll tell us so in different ways, and that makes it possible. That's the thing that's going to allow you, when the cops are moving in a certain way in your community, that's going to allow you to know that you can step into that process with confidence and standing up, because the people have already told you, you know, how they, you know, they experience that. You know, that's really important. There's nothing more important that you can do. I don't care what kind of connection you have to the movement, whether you in these damn offices and doing this kind of stuff, than connecting with the masses, because that's the thing that really lets you know who you are, what the people are suffering. That's the thing that keeps me pissed off, you know, and that's good. I don't ever want to lose that edge, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, man, I have a picture of him in his gun. He got upset, and you know, I had no confidence. He wouldn't leave. Kept asking me questions. Until like some little 15-year-olds, they just started coming over to the table, and I was like, yeah.
That was today, Will?
No,
it was in Chicago.
Yeah, get your ass out of here.
Friends, is it any other comments? We're going to be eating lunch, but the people who are recruitment and membership, people need to stay for 2 minutes. You need to reconcile these fears, reconcile the money with Will before you go down to eat lunch.
Okay.
That's because there was one person that we ran into. He said he was from Orlando. He was just visiting, but he's like, yeah, this looks dope. Like, it looks cool. You know, like, I want to look
Good.
So I don't know how that.
So you say that people in this process are going to be doing the follow-up work as well? Okay. Good.